right, now we created a component, that's great, but then we should know how to bring up data from our TS file to the HTML file. We call that as a data binding. Now, data binding could be multiple types. It's one-way binding, two-way binding, and from component to HTML and HTML to component. So that, let's create an variable. Let's call this product name, and we will say it is of type string. Now you can see it's a strict mode, so I'm going to use the constructor to provide the value for this. Now you could provide it initially here. I'm going to use the constructor. Always all class level variable have to be qualified with this. So we will write it as pencil. Now, if you want this to be shown right here, how do we bring that up? We're going to use interpolation. Interpolation with the double curly and then double curly close. So that should bring up our product name. You can see the product name brought up right there. Now, the second type of communication is going to be, again, a property. Now, if you want to provide a property binding, now let's create that. It's an input box. Now, the value of the input box. Now, you can notice the value I'm providing it within the square brackets. Square brackets ensure that you're doing a property binding. So let's call this product name, and then I'm going to close it. Now, if we look at the output, you can see the product name appearing right here. Alrighty, let's put this inside the paragraph. You can see the product name appearing right there. Pretty easy, is it not? Now, what if I want on a button click to something to change? So let's go ahead and add a button. We want to handle the click event. We are going to have to use an event binding. Let's call change name. And then we're going to call the button, so change. Change name is not a method already. Now, how do we write it? It's very simple. You go ahead and write a method name, and then you provide the value. You say this dot product name is equal to changed. Now, you would notice that when I click on the button, it should show that the product name is changed. There we go, bingo. I hope you're able to see that. So initially it was pencil. Then I hit change, it got changed. Right, now when you walk past the value, how will you achieve it? To do that, I'm going to have to create a local handle for this input. To do that, I'm going to use a hash symbol. Name to provide as product name. I'm going to pass the p name as a parameter to my method. Let's go ahead and pick up the value. It's going to pick up the value. You name here, the parameter will pass. I can say it's any, and I just assign the value. Now, whatever I type in the text box is what is going to get displayed right here. So let's go ahead and write test honey and hit change. Now you can see that it says input element. All right, that's my bad. So I should be picking up the value and not the element itself. Now let's go ahead and change that. From 1, right there. Yeah. So you can see the value got changed. That's pretty easy. So what we did, everything is one-way communication, which means when you clicked on this, this is from your HTML to your component, that is TS file. This is from the TS to the HTML. But if at all you want a two-way, how do you do it? Now for that, again, I'm going to create an input. But first, let's break it by giving the BR. And then let me go ahead and provide an input. I am going to use a two-way communication and use the word ng model. It's going to throw me an error and break my code. I'm going to say it's a product name. Just don't worry, you'll fix it in a bit. Now it's giving me an error because for using ng model, I need to import a module in my app.module. The module's name is forms module. Now, once I do that, you will see the error will get fixed and my code is up and running. It's not broken anymore. Let's go ahead and change it. You can see that it is two-way binding, and as I change the value everywhere, the value gets changed. So here it's an explicit change, wherein here you can see the value changes dynamically.